day. Stay now. Good morning, everyone. Yesterday was a roller coaster. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a beautiful gift. Look at this. The snow on the Pyrenees, but the sun to warm our hearts and to give us hope that today's walk, whether it takes us all the way down to Zubiri or whether it is a shorter walk to Espinal, is going to be a beautiful one. I am so amazed, so happy, so impressed of this gift of the Camino. The quiet after the storm, leaving Roncesvalles and finally, slowly leaving the Pyrenees behind with a destination of Pamplona. Not for today, but in a couple of days. Buen Camino. And this is the Cross of Roland, the place where, according to the legend, Roland was buried, or Rolando. And they say that if a pilgrim will touch that, they will get their blessing alongside the Camino. However, I find it a bit difficult now to go up and down. Hello pilgrims, we are passing by another interesting point on the Camino, just in the forest that separates Roncesvalles from Burguete, which is, like the name says, the small burgo, the small town where actually the people live, because Roncesvalles is just the collegiata, so the big church and other religious buildings. But before we get into the town, actually there's another interesting legend, because we see another cross here. It's just behind me, and you can see it a little bit there. Yeah. And we read here there the name Sorgina Rizzaga down there. What is that? Basically, there's a story here, and that's when things get interesting, because in this forest, some things were happening in the 16th century. A lot of women and men have been found guilty of being witches, wizards, witchcraft in general, right? And as we know, the Inquisition back then in Spain was very strong, and they had no fear in condemning people. And if you were lucky, you would just have to wear the so-called sanbenitos, which were some specific clothes that would, characterize you basically as someone who did not respect religion, did witchcraft. But most of the people were unfortunately burned on the fire. And in order to purify this area, which they think had been corrupted by the devil, caused by this witchcraft, they placed this cross. So, and it's not the only point, actually. There are a lot of legends of these witchcraft acts here in Navarra. Pretty common thing that used to happen there. But what we know also is that only a few of these people were really guilty, or maybe nobody. If you just didn't like someone, it was as easy as to, spread the rumor that the person was doing such acts in order to make sure that the person would end up being found guilty. So it was a very dark time for Spain. Good morning. After a few hundred meters, we are now in the little village of Burguete, which is a village that goes alongside the Camino. And there's one interesting thing that you will see in this village. They have a lot of traditional houses. Some of them are a bit older and not well preserved like this one. Others have been renovated, like the ones on the other side of the street. But for instance, if I read on this one, it says that it was built in the year 1893. And that's an interesting information because it tells us something. You know that I told you that there were all these witchcraft legends in the forest that were surrounding this city, this town. Well, something must have happened, because since all those wizards and witches, or so known, were killed, this town has been destroyed multiple times. Over 3 times it has been destroyed and rebuilt. The last time with the Napoleonic soldiers, they burnt everything, and so all these houses have a little bit over 130, 150 years, right, when they have been rebuilt. Almost as if there was like something, you know, like a negative spell or something that fell on this town after all those bad things that happened.